Good morning, y'all. Well, if Atlanta didn't put us on a map, Bristol sure did. I don't know about y'all, but that was a very interesting race that we watched. Can we say tires? Tires and more tires. I don't think I've ever seen a race where halfway through Goodyear goes, I'm gonna go. We have 144 more tires in the truck. We're gonna go mount some more tires and see if NASCAR approves for another set of tires to be given out to the teams. I don't think I've ever seen that before, ever. But it became a game of who can make their tires last, who can stay out of the marbles of tires. And man, oh man, I really enjoyed Bristol and the way it just came to me. It was like old school Bristol. I didn't miss the dirt at all. Dirt was crazy, but this brought me back to the first concrete of Bristol, and I don't know. I loved it. It made people think. It made drivers think and actually drive. They wanted tires that fell off. Well, they got those. And next time, I guess you better be careful what you ask for, because NASCAR gave you what you asked for. And some of you liked it. Some of you didn't. I, as a fan, I loved it. About every 40 laps, somebody was blowing a tire, or having to come in because your tire was coming off. And it was great. It was so much fun to watch, to enjoy, and just to watch and hear everyone complain of something going wrong. It didn't matter which team you were on, whether you were Toyota, whether you were Chevy, whether you were a Ford. It didn't matter. Everybody was complaining. It was wonderful. I don't know why I got so much enjoyment out of that, but I did. Did you get enjoyment out of the tire issue? Because I know, I can just picture being in the media center. I've been in there a couple of times, during the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte. And I can just hear them as they're having tire issues. And the OMEs just being like, ugh, what's Goodyear going to say about this? And I can hear it. I can hear the conversations in my head happening in the media center as this is happening, and seeing all this tire issue. And we had a record number of cautions, a record number of lead changes. And I don't know, next to Atlanta, because Atlanta was an amazing race, I think this is top two for the year. Bristol in the spring, can't wait to see it. Well, I should say fall now, because this is technically spring for them, their spring race. I can't wait to see what the fall race brings. If this is what the spring race looked like, what's the fall race gonna? Is everybody gonna figure out how to adapt and figure their mess out, or are we going to continue to have this hot mess express of racing happening? Because if we are, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy. I'm gonna need some popcorn and a drink. And my husband and I are just gonna watch and enjoy the ride that is now the short track racing of Bristol. This will definitely probably fill the seats back up at Bristol the way they were pre dirt race, pre-COVID. If they continue this track, I have a feeling, because it definitely brought out the side of racing that is a really good mixture, in my opinion, of old school and what they're trying to do with the newer school, if you want to call it that, racing, between the two. So it was really just, I don't know, it was a really good race. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Some people didn't enjoy it because our favorite person, Denny Hamlin, won the race, giving him his 52nd career Cup win and his 4th at Bristol. He led 305 laps at Bristol across the last 2 races. If you couldn't hear my husband, he very much is not a Denny Hamlin fan either. And honestly, the race was less about where you were on the track and more about, could you manage your tires? And he managed his very well. I personally yelled at the TV when he was like, oh yeah, I learned how to manage my tires at, Martinsville and everywhere else but the one track. He even said South Boston. Yeah, South Boston. He said Martinsville, but he forgot the one track. Don't forget where you come from, you prick. The one track that he really grew up at. Right here. The one that he'll be coming to next weekend. Well, close to next weekend. Won't directly be coming to. The one he attempted, or said he was going to attempt to come back and revive. And then that didn't happen. However, we are going to get it back, which is wonderful. I can't wait. Because, if I'm not going to be at a NASCAR race, I think I might take my husband to one of those. Southside Speedway, the other place Denny Hamlin spent a good deal of time. And it's another place that you have to learn how to manage your tires real quick. Because if you don't, you're out of luck. So he did look at getting it. And that didn't go through very well. But another group has come in and is going to do the needed work, it seems like. And Southside Speedway appears to be coming back. And I'm actually looking forward to that. So, might be able to hear the racetrack at my home again, and it'll be very nice when I'm not meandering that way to go watch a couple races. But yeah, that just, I don't know, irks me. Like you said, every other track around here except the one in your hometown. And you wonder why you get booed. Reason number 1 right there. Right there. Don't forget where you come from. Because we'll remind you real quick. Real quick. We don't have short memories. We have very long ones. Really, really long ones. Now, the real loser of this race, I have to say, was Ty Gibbs. He won stage 1. He won stage 2. He had a really good race at Bristol. I thought there for a while he was gonna win. That was not in his cards for this one. Do I see him winning before it's over with? Yeah. I definitely see him having a race where he wins hopefully before the season's over with. He has definitely grown and come a long way. We'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. But definitely a young man to watch out for. Overall, we had all 4 Joe Gibbs teams led laps. Teammates, I should say, led laps. Another driver and someone that I don't think, or a team that most of us are usually like, oh, they're back of the track, back of the pack crew, yet you don't talk about because, well, they are back of the track, back of the pack group. Rick Ware Racing has made a lot of changes, and we talked about those in season 6, how they were making some major moves, making some changes, and they brought Justin Haley on full-time for this year, starting this year. Justin Haley nearly crashed in Saturday's qualifying last week, but he spent the final 2 stages around the top 10. He ran as high as 6 in the final stage, but he did finish 17th. But for that team, who normally is either 15 laps down, let's be honest, being generous with 15 laps down, or off the track because they've been involved in a serious wreck, huge improvement for that team. They have been on the track, they have been running, and Justin Haley is moving that group forward. So super excited to see how Rick Ware is moving forward, how that team overall is moving forward, and where Justin Haley can progress that group. So just another team to keep an eye out on. I'm not going to say they're going to go out and win, but I'm not going to discount them either. We didn't think Trackhouse could do it, and because they were small. But just because you're small doesn't mean you don't have the ability. And they have the drive to, they've made the changes. So they have the drive now to move forward. And so I'm not discounting them yet. We've had Alex Bowman. He had a good race as well. Finished 4th, and it's his first top 10 since Daytona, because he's had a rough season since Daytona. And then John Hunter Nemechek also had a fairly decent race as well. Martin Truex Jr., who, was doing amazing last season for the most part, won the regular season championship over William Byron, but he kind of fell off when it came to post-season championship. He got his first top 5 finish since Michigan in August. So definitely moving in the right direction for that team. And I know that that's an exciting one for them. Since, Martin himself only tends to do like 1-year deals at a time, it seems like now. He doesn't seem to know when he wants to retire or when he doesn't want to retire, which, I don't blame him. It's like, I'll make up my mind mid-season when I'm ready to retire. Blame him. People who didn't have such a good race. Kyle Busch blew a tire. Can we talk about Kyle Busch driving backwards when he blows a tire? People are like, what is he doing? So to minimize the damage on his car, he does drive backwards to attempt to minimize that damage. And so everybody's like, why does he do that? That's why, to minimize that damage. And then, you know, he spun and went down a lap again. And then he just had another tire issue in stage 2. So he was one of those that just had continuous tire issues. William Byron broke a toe link early in stage 1 when he had contact with the wall. Tyler Reddick also stayed out on the tires and had some issues there too. So we had some drivers that had some not so great days, as well as, you know, some drivers that had some great days. There were some people that were really excited. And then about the way the track was. And then some that were calling for red flags in the middle to put PJ1 down through the whole track. Kyle Larson. You know, I think part of what he enjoyed the race, but at the same time, I can understand the frustration. You want to race. You don't want to constantly be like, okay, when am I going to have a tire issue? Or is somebody going to take me out because they're having a tire issue? But again, that all comes down to part of racing. So I get it. 100%. It was one of those like, yeah, enjoy the race, but I really am not sure I want to do that again. Well, I guess you better learn now. Yeah, I asked for it. You truly did. I mean, 100%. Y'all asked for this. Don't ask for things that you don't want. You said, oh, we want this. We really want this. We want a tire that does this and falls off and makes it more racy. Okay. NASCAR provided you what you've asked for. So, yeah. Get used to it, buddies. And if you don't have your tickets for Bristol now, go ahead and buy those bad boys, because I have a feeling fall's going to be fun. This week we did get news. If you don't have your tickets now for the Xfinity race for Bristol, Dale Jr. will be in the Xfinity race for Bristol. They did announce that this week, that he will be returning to Bristol for the Xfinity race. So go ahead, buy those tickets now if you want to go watch Dale Jr. race and the Xfinity race. And then NASCAR also announced this week that they will be managing the Bowman Gray Stadium racing operations in Winston-Salem, which through 2050. And it's through the Winston-Salem Speedway Inc., which is really cool. This stadium dates back to 1949, when NASCAR's founder, of course, Bill France Sr. and Alvin Hawkins bought motorsports to the football stadium. Multiple generations of Hawkins family have provided leadership through the decades. The family will continue to be involved in the managerial duties of the stadium. NASCAR also announced that Track Enterprise's Austin Shudford, who has experience promoting and managing 25 events a year at 15 racetracks, will take over as the new general manager of the stadium's racing operations. Cup teams compete at Bowman Gray Stadium 29 times, or the Cup teams did, between 1958 and 1971. Richard Petty, Lee Petty, Glenn Wood, Junior Johnson, Rex White, Bobby Allenson, Jim Pascal, Bobby Wellborn, Jim Reed, Johnny Allen, and David Pearson, all won races there. So they will host a next gen testing in October. Oh, they also hosted next gen testing in October of 2021. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. And see if we make progress to go back there, or is Junior going to take the car series there? But this will help preserve the history and legacy of the racetrack for the next generation of fans and racers. So it's going to be very interesting just to see how that progresses, and we'll keep an eye on that and how that does progress. Today, we are at COTA for Circuits of America. NASCAR has questioned whether we will be back at COTA again, and they have voiced that drivers have voiced that they want to be back at COTA, so, and their support. So we'll have to wait and see what comes up of the schedule coming up. If you follow the teams on Instagram, you will definitely see that Team Hendricks has been kind of doing like Team Gibbs and Team Gibbs and doing random how to get to know the drivers. Right now, they have been doing 3D printing of which track is it, and like putting mask over eyes and seeing who can guess the track fastest. Kyle Larson, I will have to say, guessed COTA the fastest in about 2 seconds, which is insane. From Hendricks. I don't know how you do that, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Insane. But it is our first road course for the season, before we can come back north and come to Richmond next week afterwards. We'll feature 39 entries, 36 cars with charters and 3 without. Tyler Reddick is the defending winner at COTA. Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott are the other 2 drivers with wins at COTA as well. AJ Allmendinger is driving the number 13. SVG is driving the number 16 for Project 91. And we also have number 50, Kumami. I'm butchering this poor guy's name. Is in the return in the number 50 with 23XI. And then Timmy Hill will drive the number 66 as MBM Motorsports makes its first Cup Series start since 2022. Whew. For tomorrow, for today, I'm all off kilter. Need more coffee. We are looking at 6 to 8 laps. They have gone back to stage breaks. Boo! I don't know about y'all. I liked when we didn't have stage breaks, but we have gone back to stage breaks. 6 to 8 laps on the just over 3-mile road course. Stage 1 ends at lap 15. Stage 2 ends at lap 30. National anthem is at 3:31. And so the green flag should be dropping shortly thereafter. It is a 2% chance of rain today. It is going to be on Fox. The race broadcasting will start at 3:30 p.m. If you want to watch pre-race today, of course, it's going to be at 2 p.m. on FS1. And then it will cross over to Fox starting at 3. Need to listen to it. This is the good part, or at least to me. You need to be on the road, PRN, or SiriusXM Channel 90. It saved us a little bit last week. We had to run some errands for one of our baby girls. So Channel 90 was my best friend for a little bit. But today's going to be a beautiful day to race. It's 72 degrees. In Texas. That's great. They do have rain tires if they need them. Today we have William Byron, Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Corey LaJoy, Ross Chastain, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Bubba Wallace at our top 10. Again, there's a total of 39 cars. We did have 2 that had some issues going through inspection. So they did have some people ejected and loss of pit stop, but that was pre-qualification. So everybody has a qualifying time. Noah Gragson being the end of the 36 members. So it's going to be great. The green flag does wave at 3:49 p.m. today. So we have COTA, and then, like I said, we come back north, and we'll be at Richmond Raceway next weekend. Myself, my husband, and Chris Rulu will all be at Richmond to cover the Richmond race. So look for some live videos, live coverage. We're excited to be able to go and bring you some pictures and video and just some funness from the race. So watch out for some great content coming from the night race, upcoming from Richmond when that rolls around next weekend. So if you don't have your tickets yet for Richmond, make sure you go ahead and grab them. It's going to be great. It's probably going to rain now because Richmond racing is coming into town. But who cares? It's Richmond and racing. I care. I'm excited. So happy Sunday. Happy race day. Bye, y'all.